In Miranda July's Me, You, and Everyone We Know, her first film, there's all kinds of quirky characters who seem to be failing at all kinds of things. And there's a sequence where Miranda July's character, she's the director and she's the main actress, is riding in a car, and she and a older man who she's driving notice that there's a goldfish in a bag, probably recently purchased, that is riding on top of the car. Somebody forgot to put it in the car. And they realize that there's no way they can get the attention of the driver without having the driver stop, which would make the goldfish fall off of the car. So what they decide to do is spend the rest of the ride honoring the life of the goldfish, however brief, and kind of like just celebrating what it is to hold on to life. Later there's another sequence where she and a shoe salesman are walking together. They imagine that their walk is connected to like a whole universe of experience, and that once they reach the 2-block limit, that will be the equivalent to the end of the life that they've shared together. One of the things that I love about Miranda July is that in some ways she's constantly in rehearsal for living. Every single day is a rehearsal. This is Weekly Update with Andrew, a short series devoted to talking about what I did last week, what I hope to do next week, all with the aim of keeping me on track with my creative projects while celebrating and living well the life that I have partially inherited and partially created. This past week was full of routines. I would get up, I'd write my dreams down, I'd make my breakfast, I'd walk through the little streets of my neighborhood and over to the building where my office is, and I'd check my email, I'd check in with my colleagues, I'd answer a couple of emails, I'd get ready for class, and pretty soon I'd walk down the hallway and head to my classroom and set up the chairs the way that I wanted them to, make sure that my mask was on, spend a little bit of time teaching, and then I'd go back to my office and answer emails or have meetings on Zoom. I'd process the things that had happened in class. I'd send up follow-up emails. I'd have advising meetings. And one of the things you might notice is that I'm not really getting the work done on my creative projects, but at the end of the day, I'd walk back to my little house through the neighborhood, and inside I'd try to make dinner, and I'd give up on cleaning out my kitchen. Before you know it, I'd be heading back and doing the same thing over again. And I did find time to sit for long periods and grade and respond to my students' work. And I also tried to get a little bit of work done on the projects, but the kitchen seemed like its mess, and the endless grading and the nitpicky work of putting the website together, it just was so repetitive. But I did finally get my Film Freeway page up and ready to go. And next week, I hope to add my online screener and push send. Ultimately, all of our days are full of routines where we do the same errands over and over again, occasionally being aware of the precariousness of life, and other times not being aware of it at all. But somehow, if we can remember that our lives are rehearsals for living, there's some comfort in the moments that we can glimpse these beautiful images that remind us of what it is to be human.